Apple reboots its campaign in China. Buy With Me snags $16 million in funding, and Twitter's not so early bird. Hello, I'm Evelyn Risley, and this is TechCrunch Now for Wednesday, July 7th. And joining us today is the CEO and co-founder of Cloud, and he's Alex Edelstein and Jeff Clavier, investor extraordinaire. Thanks for joining us, guys. Before we do a deep dive into the headlines today, give us an idea of what Cloud is, Alex.
Cloud is about using the internet to get work done. Instead of having fun, you can actually make money doing projects that we assign and break down. We go to companies, take large amounts of work that they want done and need done quickly. We break it up into small pieces, and we've got a 25,000 strong workforce that does them one task at a time and can do that work from wherever they have an internet connection.
So essentially outsourcing labor in the cloud, right?
It's the next generation of outsourcing. It's anytime, anywhere.
It certainly seems like everything is moving towards the cloud, but at least brick and mortar stores don't seem to be completely obsolete. Now I'm talking about Apple and its recent expansion into China. They plan to open about 3 stores in Shanghai, and some experts say they'll have about more than 24 in the next few years. Steve Jobs has been criticized for not being very focused on China. What do you think, Jeff? Does this represent a major shift in their strategy?
Well, I think China is such a huge market. It makes sense for Apple and Steve Jobs to sort of put some real resources, and so those stores which will open, which will have the proper design and the proper sort of Apple Store feel to them,
right?
You know, where you go there and you basically feel compelled to buy something, even if it's just a small, piece of accessory. And I think that this is it makes sense for them to do that. And given that the market in China, hasn't really sort of gone on the design side with all those very slick pieces of hardware, I'm pretty sure they'll do well.
A Lenovo executive recently made fun of Jobs for not being focused enough on China. Why do you think they've been so late to the game?
I can answer that, I think. I actually have a Lenovo on my desk, and a ThinkPad on my desk, and a Mac. Apple is very methodical. They don't want to do something until they are ready to do it, and that's paid them a lot of benefits over the years. I think they're going to have a very warm reception in China. A lot of people think of it as a place for basic manufacturing, but the truth is it's got a 2,000-year cultural heritage that really appreciates aesthetics.
And a growing middle class.
Indeed.
Now, speaking of retail, let's move on to the crazy space of daily deals. Buy With Me has just raised about $16 million. We know, of course, of Groupon's crazy valuations here. It seems like every other day there's a new investment in the space. You yourself, Jeff, you've invested in TownHog, right? Where do you think this market is going?
Well, like any market that gets a ton of competitors pouring in, there's probably going to be a shakeout. And one of the things that companies like TownHog have to address is things like customer fatigue about getting or offers for sushi restaurants every day, and also the ability of the store to handle the surge or the spike. There's the place that had 2 manicure stations and sold 4,000 manicures, and then there's Phil's Coffee down here in San Francisco, who were concerned that a lot of the people who took advantage were actually already existing customers. If they can nail those problems, these companies will have a lot of success.
Yeah. Alex, you mentioned consumer fatigue, and as a consumer who's tried TownHog and Groupon, I like these sites, but they seem very similar in certain ways in terms of their structure, layout, design even. So how do you succeed in this market? What does TownHog or Buy With Me or any of these sites have to do, Jeff?
So I think, TownHog has taken the route to do a white label service, so they will actually power existing media sites' ability to offer daily deals, and so they will source those deals in different geographies that they manage, and they will sort of bring forward all those offers to an existing audience. So it's a slightly different play from Groupon, Living Social, or Buy With Me. Getting those sources of traffic and the corresponding inventory is actually the key to success. Inventory is tricky because, by definition, as you said, there are so many sort of sushi offers and manicure offers you can put on the table, and really at the end, what matters is personalization. So what sort of offers will matter to me as a consumer is what I want to see at some point. The issue is that we're just in the infancy of that market, even though we have many investments which have come in play in this hundreds of millions, like over $250 million now with Groupon. And it's still not a mainstream use for consumers to sort of get all their deals from those sites. So I think it's going to develop in an interesting way. There might be a shakeout at some point, but we can see many players being successful, I think.
Mm-hmm. And Twitter is also dipping its own feathers into this game, and so they started this account called @EarlyBird. What they're doing, or what they eventually will do, is work with partners, advertising partnerships, and be able to tweet out deals to their users. Brilliant or late to the party?
Well, they're arguably late to the party, but they've got a lot of huge advantages in this space.
They are Twitter.
They're Twitter. I have a Twitter account, but I don't have a Groupon account. And if Twitter can establish what locality I live in, which isn't that hard to do if I think there's something in it for me, then it's very easy for them to start messaging deals to me.
Well, they can go one of two ways, right? They can either distribute some deals that Groupon or Living Social would have sourced and become some kind of a distribution partner, or they can try and become sort of a competitor of sorts, which I don't think is Twitter's business. So it's just a matter of saying, hey, there is a premium account, there is a premium way to access some of our users. You guys pay, X, either rev share or, on a impression basis. They have several ways they can go about that. I think it's smart.
Yeah, with so many competitors in this space, and now including possibly Twitter, what does that mean for margins? That's something that hasn't really been talked about. Right now, Groupon and Buy With Me are enjoying very, very rich margins of about 30 to 50% of rev share, right? Mm-hmm. Will that decrease because there's so many competitors in the field, and what will that mean for something like Groupon?
Well, I've already heard of wannabe competitors were saying, hey, we'll just take 30% or 20% or 10% of the rev share. But at the end of the day, what matters is your ability to move products, and so distribution is the most important. So there will be an equilibrium at some point. It will drop from 50%, I believe. But if you look at the actual acquisition cost you have on the other side, you just need to have quite a bit of business coming your way to make your own math work. So we'll see. Yeah. 30 to 50% is sort of where I believe we'll sort of end up. But by the way, I don't see Twitter sort of buying something in the space. It's just not their focus.
Final question, Jeff. What's the next company you're investing in?
I can't tell, but it's an interesting one.
I had to ask. Our guests again have been Jeff Clavier and Alex Edelstein of CloudCrowd, and make sure you catch our next episode of OMGJK. Until next time on TechCrunch Now.